Hello all and welcome to another video in my journey to 1 million Gamerscore, and it's time to bring to you July part 2. Now, how did I do in July as a whole? Well, I scored just under 14,000 Gamerscore. That was 13,775 to be precise, and the second half of July was actually slightly better than the first half. I got 7,330 in July part 2. So let's crack on with the games and show you how well I did and where I got it. And in amongst these games there are 5 completions, and one of them is an Xbox 360 completion as well. And the first completion of the month is a Ratalaika special, and it is Machimachi Boy. Now, this took me around about an hour to an hour and a half to complete because I decided not to use a guide. However, if you do use a guide, there's plenty available on YouTube. You could probably half that time. You can get it done in half hour to 45 minutes. You won't need the guide for the first few levels. They are super easy, but there are a few later on that become tricky. I found a couple of them quite frustrating, and I eventually, after many methods of trial and error with the levels, I eventually got through them without needing a guide. So yeah, it took me probably about nearly an hour and a half because I decided not to use a guide, but that is still a really quick completion. It's like this top-down puzzle game that has the same sort of imagery as Snake, but you have to start from one point and you have to fill up every square available to you, but you can't backtrack over the same square, and obviously you can't block the path to squares and things like that. So basically you have to use this monster thing, that yellow thing that you can see on the left of the thumbnail there, to basically fill up every square on this grid. And obviously there'll be obstacles and things like that in the way in your quest to solve the puzzle, basically. So the achievements, you will have to get to level 30 in tower mode to get all of the level ones along the way, and then in dungeon mode you will only have to get to the 3rd stage to unlock all dungeon mode achievements. The only other achievements are for collecting a certain amount of slimes, and if you're going for the level 30, plenty of those will pop up along the way, so they'll kind of turn into sort of as you go achievements that you're gonna get. So yes, Machimachi Boy, okay-ish game, decent little puzzle game, but not a lot to it. It's very, very samey once you start. So yes, Machimachi Boy, use a guide under an hour. Don't use a guide around about an hour, maybe just over it, because of a couple of puzzles that might catch you out. So above that we have ACA Neo Geo Cyberlip. Now, I picked this up digitally because it was in the sale, so I had a little go at it, and it was reasonably fun. It's a side-scrolling sort of run-and-gun shooter with a little bit of platforming, obviously. And with regards to the 3 modes that are in all Neo Geo games, the original mode, high scoring and caravan mode, the original mode can be done real easy if you play with the settings, knock it down to level 1, crank your lives up to 99, and then just play through it, and you should hit all 3 scoring brackets within the original mode. The high score mode is a lot more tricky. I don't think I've actually got any of them. The bottom one is 50,000, and I've fallen annoyingly short of it a few times. So I may revisit this game and try and pick that one off. With regards to caravan mode, the only one in that's tricky is the top one, which is also 50,000, so it's quite tricky. But at the same time, it's quite tough to get within the time limit. So that one's also a little bit of a nightmare, shall we say. Nearly said a naughty word there. But at the same time, ACA Neo Geo Cyberlip is a fun little game. It was worth my time. Probably took about 2 to 3 hours to get that 640 out of it. But if you get those, certainly those 2 higher scoring bracket modes and high score mode, you have my utmost respect. It's going to be super difficult to score 120,000 points with no continues and only 3 lives. So well done if you're one of the very few that have got that. I think it's only at like 3% something. But anyway, let's move on and go on to another super easy completion, another Ratalaika special, and that is Huggy 2. Now, I really like this game. This game was a lot of fun. It's another puzzle game. You're this blob that can only kind of stick to the floor or stick to the roof, and you jump between the 2 in order to solve puzzles and collect a key to get out of the level. And then if you collect a certain amount of keys, you go through one door and so on, and you can progress through the level and into different sections and other levels. So a lot of it's for collecting keys. There are a few for miscellaneous stuff, for defeating the first level boss, I think, as well. But none of these achievements are below a 70% unlock rate. So every achievement is above 70% unlock rate, which is high for any game. So that just goes to show you how easy of a completion this is. However, just because it takes time more than anything, you probably will spend around about 2 to 3 hours on this one. That's playing it safe. So, but I would say nearer the 2 hour margin. Just if you get stuck on any of the individual achievements as to speed them up as to where to find things, just use the solutions on trueachievements.com. But not difficult. Huggy 2, again, another super easy completion. Above that, we have the Xbox 360 completion of the second half of July, and that is Brave the video game. Now, this was sitting in my backlog for ages because once upon a time it was part of Games with Gold. Now, it could be deemed a kid-orientated game, however there are aspects to it that may find it challenging for a younger person, but at the same time I actually really enjoyed this game. This game was a lot of fun actually. Now, one of the achievements is to finish the game on Brave mode, which is the highest level, so it's sort of one above hard, and not change it at any point. Now, that sort of playthrough may take you, or it took me somewhere between 8 to 10 hours alone, but in doing so I unlocked most of the achievements, nearly all of them. It is full of collectibles, unfortunately, but at the same time I didn't actually need a guide at all, because every time I played a level, which is probably why it took me a long time as well, despite getting stuck on a couple of sections, a couple of bossy type sections for quite a while as well, because at the end of the day it was the hardest setting. But collectible wise, if you just explore every nook and cranny, if it throws a little puzzle at you, make sure you solve it by opening a door where there's a chest behind it. But just explore every single little nook and cranny and you probably won't need a guide. I didn't, but I'm sure there's guides out there if you do miss one or two, but the levels will tell you at the doorway before you go in it if you're missing anything, so it's not hard to work out where you need it and what is missing. The 4 things that you will need to collect, if I can remember them all, is upgrading your bows, upgrading your swords, tapestry pieces, and also costumes. Did I say costumes? Bows, swords, tapestry pieces, costumes. They're the 4 collectibles. As I say, just explore every area and you'll be fine. You also need to get a certain amount of kills with each type of bow, because I mean, picking up each type of bow, they have elements like fire, earth, ice and something else that eludes me right now, sorry about that. Certain amount of kills with each type of those bows. You get an achievement finding each type of those, but they're kind of progressional. You need those to sort of progress on. But you'll need a certain amount of kills with each type of those. You also need to upgrade everything as an achievement as well, and getting the kills with each type of bow, 250 of each, which is the top bracket, is 150 for each, and getting enough coins to upgrade everything will take a bit of grinding. So I had every achievement, I was just missing a couple of the bow kills and upgrading everything, so I had to basically, after I'd done my full Brave playthrough and got that achievement, then crank the difficulty down to easy, and then I was able to play the last level over and over again. And because I'd upgraded so much while playing it on Brave mode, it became like I was almost invincible in taking out all the enemies. So whilst I was grinding out coins while playing through it, I maxed out the all the bow types of kills. I think there's one for power up in the bow as well and get kills doing that. I think I was missing that one as well, so I was able to grind that out whilst getting coins. I got all of those and I still had to play the final level 2 or 3 more times to get enough coins to buy all the upgrades. So it's not too difficult a completion. That Brave playthrough might get you a little frustrated at a couple of points, but as a completion time, I was going to say 10 to 12, we're going to err on the side of caution a little bit and just say 12 to 15 in case you get stuck for a little bit longer on those sections that I got stuck on. They did certainly slow me down. I reckon my completion time was around about the 12-hour mark all told, but a lot of fun. And if you can pick this up for cheap or you've got it in your back catalogue, I actually kind of recommend it. It was a lot of fun. When you're using the bow and arrow, it becomes basically a twin stick shooter 3D level game. And obviously you can use your sword as well, but there is actually a random individual achievement for completing a level without using a sword. You cannot even press the button. I thought I'd done it once, but I had pressed the sword button once despite not hitting any objects or killing anything, and the achievement didn't unlock. And when I didn't press the button at all, on the next level that I did it with, it unlocked. So just, yeah, a little tip there if you do take this one on. Okay, so above Brave we have another completion. It's not a Ratalaika game, although it looks like it in the thumbnail, but it was actually quite a fun little game. Grass cutter mutated lawns. Now you have to play until at least level 16, I think, to be able to buy something, which is one of the achievements. And then there's a lot of miscellaneous achievements. Sadly, another achievement to track, but there's a lot of miscellaneous achievements like breaking barriers, driving into sand pits, driving into mud pits, and just things like that. But you'll unlock a lot by accident, basically because you're playing through the game. There is some for scaring birds. Birds appear very often actually. There is one for scaring cats and scaring the dog. So when you see the cat and the dog in the level, just keep driving past the dog, and then he'll come out again, drive past, he'll come back out, and that each counts as one. I think the cat's in the first level and you can only scare it once, so you kind of have to scare the cat, come out of the level, go back in again, scare the cat, and so on. And I think it's 15 times, or it might be even 20. Can't remember exactly. But anyway, basically, there's a lot of individual achievements that that can be a bit miscellaneous and a bit random. So if you're missing any of those, just go on True Achievements and search up the guide for the individual achievement. I believe they have all been covered. But this one does take time. It's a fun little game, actually. It's basically you have to mow every segment of the lawn in order to finish the level. And once you do the last square, you'll then complete the level and move on. And you can run over the same square more than once. It's not the same sort of puzzle game as that machimachi game was a minute ago. But it just takes a little bit of time. So although it's not difficult, none of the achievements are rare. Expect to probably put in around about, I'm going to edge on the side of caution again here, probably expect to put around about 4 to 5 hours in it. However, 3 to 4 is doable with a bit of skill and a bit of luck perhaps in grinding out achievements. But anyway, yeah, I actually kind of enjoyed it. It wasn't too much of a grind, this game. Okay, so above that was another Neo Geo game that cropped up in the sale, so I picked it up, and that was ACA Neotopolestar. Now, the original mode is very much doable, but only if you do the create interrupt save data trick. Because basically you can change the level down to level 1 to make it easy for you, but you can only add 6 lives. A lot of games you can make it 99, but this one you can only make it 6. And in order to get the top scoring bracket margin, I had to basically play through until roughly the start of stage 6. Now if you can get to stage 6 on only 6 lives and no continues, then you have done very well. So basically what I did, and this probably took a couple of hours alone to get original mode knocked out, was I did a section, and if I didn't die, I then created an interrupt save data, and I just did little chunks all the time. So as soon as I died, I was able to quit out of the title screen, start the game up again. It would throw me back where I was. This also managed me to keep my power-ups, so I never lost my power-ups, because obviously if you die, it doesn't let you carry on from where you died. It pushes you back to a certain point, not right at the beginning of the level, just a certain point. So what I did is basically just kept on creating interrupt save data, did a little bit. Also you can then learn that section and know what to do and know what to do. So I just kept on doing that. As regards to high score mode and caravan mode, I'm going to need a quick refresh of memory here. There you go, you see I've got all 3 original modes there. High score mode, I did able to get the top 1. Oh no, that's just me recording my score. High score mode, I was only able to get the bottom one, obviously, because you only have 3 lives and no continues. So 100,000 points was doable, because you get around about 110,000 for completing the first level, if you're able to do that without losing a life. And then obviously I didn't quite make it to the next scoring bracket, which I would think was in high score mode. It was 150,000, although I got bloody close a couple of times. I just unfortunately didn't make it. And obviously caravan mode, you get the 5-minute time limit, and I did manage to get just far enough into the second level to add another 10 to 15,000 points after finishing the first level without losing a life. So with a bit of muscle memory, you'll be able to get to the caravan mode done because of being able to do the first level and getting far enough into the second level, and that will also knock you off the top high score mode. But these ones, as you'll see, they're rare achievements. They're both below 10%. If you can get that, then kudos to you, and especially if you can get that as well. It's a tough game to do with only 3 lives and get that point margin. So, but I had a lot of fun with ACA Neo Geo Polestar because I enjoy my side-scrolling shooters. So, yes, I did enjoy it. Next up is a 360 game which I bought from the London gaming market. I literally got home, couldn't wait to play it, so I played it straight away. Decimas has a very, very similar achievement list to Akai Katana. I do believe it's possibly by the same devs. I really should have checked on that before I made this video and said that, but it plays very much the same. The enemies fire the same coloured projectiles that look the same as well. It's a very fun side-scrolling shmup. But you'll have to play through several times with all 4 characters because you get an achievement for picking each ending with the character, and there's 2 that you get to choose from. So when you choose one, just remember what the other one was. There's a lot of miscellaneous achievements. That 610 I've got there is very doable by anybody. There's probably a couple more achievements I can actually pull out of that. A lot of it is just playing different modes, beating the enemies for the first time, boss-wise when you get to them, and things like that. There's a 5G achievement, I believe, for pausing mid-game as well. It's just a couple of random things like that. So the 610 to 650 is very much doable, but that last 350 is insane because it wants you to finish the game with each character without dying. And if you see how many projectiles there are on screen, kudos to you if you've got that. There is a small handful of people that have, so my respect to them. and then just some of the other ones, they are really insane and really difficult. But if you want an easy-ish around about 600 mark and want to play this game a lot, it's probably taken me about 4 or 5 hours to get that, just because of time needed to play it. So, and I think that is erring on the side of caution as well. Might have been a little bit less. But Decimas, highly recommend it if you like shmups. Fantastic game, really enjoyable. Above that is a 50p game from CX that I just thought I would try. I haven't finished with it yet. My initial intention was just to play through it on whatever settings were and enjoy the game, which I did. However, I was swayed into looking at the achievement list and picking up some of the random in-chapter achievements through each of them. I then, once I completed it, all 7 chapters, I then played it on, I'm now playing on easy. I've got up to the start of chapter 3, because there's an achievement for finishing each chapter without dying or resetting a checkpoint, which I've done on the first 2 levels on easy. On normal, I did die multiple times on the first level, because I was farming out the melee 25 kills, 1 in that specific chapter, and 25 pistol kills within that specific chapter as well. Just a couple of other achievements in other chapters as well that were specific I did along the way. So I'm now playing through it again, each level on easy, in the hope that I can finish the level without dying. Whilst on easy, I'm being very successful so far, up to the start of chapter 3. Those ones are worth 25G, whereas just finishing the chapters are worth 10G. So there's a lot of achievements you can pick up in this just by playing through. After I've done my easy run through, I'm going to do a hard run through, because they then reward you for completing levels on hard. You can die as many times as you like, you just got to complete on hard. Just many miscellaneous stuff. Unfortunately, there's a few online achievements with this now, which I definitely won't get, because they leave the servers down. To be honest with you, it's not a game I'm thinking, yeah, I must play that online. Other achievements I've got in this, there's achievements for collectibles for getting 130 and 61. I may revisit and go for all 61 collectibles, but I doubt it. But I have got 1 and I have got 30. I just did think the levels were worth exploring to get at least 30, getting those achievements done. So I might revisit it, but at the same time I am still working on it. So we'll see how close we get with my finishing my second playthrough on easy and starting my playthrough on hard. So Homefront will possibly, I don't want to commit to anything, but will possibly pop up in the next video as well. I shall try and remember that it was on 220. Okay, so above Homefront is another Ratalaika special, the third Ratalaika special in this video, and another super easy completion. I literally started playing this around about 11 o'clock on the last day of July, and with 5 minutes of the month to spare, I had my 1000. It's basically a side-scrolling platformer, and there are achievements for beating the first level boss and the second level boss, and by the time you get to that second level boss, you will probably have unlocked all the other achievements. They are for picking up certain power-ups. There are 4 of them. You're bound to pick those up along the way. There are collecting a certain amount of coins and killing a certain amount of enemies. There's loads of coins, there's loads of enemies, so you'll probably pick those up along the way as well. Beating the first boss, as I said, will get you one, so beating the second boss, and that'll be your last achievement. The only thing I did was because I was purely playing it for the achievements this time round. As much as the fun I did actually have, I've got to be honest with you, it wasn't actually a dull game. It's actually quite a fun little platformer. Even the enemies' hit detection was a little bit off. But play it on easy, and it really is easy. And the good thing about that is once I had actually got all the achievements except for the last one for killing the second level boss, once I got to halfway through the second world, on easy, if you die in level about 5 times, it then makes you the B power up next time you start, and then you can just fly up, fly across the top of the level by keep tapping jump. So I just did that to speed run basically through the levels after I'd got all other achievements. So that helped me speed up, and that's probably why it kept me under an hour. So yes, Super Willow to make is actually a good little fun game, and is an easy completion that can be done in under an hour with not a lot of skill required. So finally, above that is what I said I'd play the trilogy of through this month, and please don't hate on me for this. I know it's a good game, I know it's a solid game, you don't need to tell me that. However, it just turned out after a couple of hours of playing it, I wasn't enjoying it personally as much as I thought I would, and it just wasn't my type of game. I think it was too story driven for me. As good as the story was, I just wanted to play, and and then when I did play it, I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. But I'm not going to give up on it. I'm going to give it a second chance at some point. However, it now just may stay back while I play through a lot of other stuff. Anyway, that 40G there, it happened. So it happened in 2 hours worth of gameplay, and it was just progressional stuff. But I may return to it at some point, or I probably will. I've got all 3. So they're not just going to sit there forever without getting played. It will happen one day. So ladies and gentlemen, I've now come to the end of talking about what Gamerscore I've got. I just want to hear it in the comments section below. Any questions you've got, please say hello, do whatever. I do say now that if you want to send me a message, please do it here on YouTube. I don't see them if they pop up on my Xbox unless you are on my friends list, and I do keep my friends list to my actual friends or people that I know and people that I play games with. No offence meant to anybody, but please do feel free to follow me, that way you can see what I'm playing, and perhaps you'll go, oh well, he's playing that, he's got the full 1000G, I might give that a bash. So please do that, and as I say, ask as many questions about any games I've played, past or present, and if you just want to say hi, just do it on YouTube. I do read every comment on YouTube. I try my damn hardest to reply to every comment on YouTube, and that's where I would like you to post any questions or comments, please. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Please hit a like if you indeed do like this video. If you're not a subscriber, please consider doing so, and if you are a subscriber, why not hit that bell, and that will then tell you via notification whenever one of my videos drops. So ladies and gentlemen, that just leaves me to thank you for watching again, and then finally say, as always, take care.